Let's do this. Before I get started, though, I will throw up some beneficial information. I'll puke it up on the screen. Vomit it. Right there. There it is for you. Here we go. Now that you got that information out, let's play this game that you might not know about. It's the demo for the full game. Read that. I'm not reading it. You can read it. It was another cold night. The wind blew through the trees, ripping at the branches and pulling the dead leaves down. I was drunk. Too drunk to feel the chill and too drunk to fret over taking the wooded shortcut so late at night. Is there a way that I can make that bigger? Oh well. Too drunk and too angry. I just didn't care. Several months ago, or shit, has it been a year? My brother had been slaughtered, and now his killers roam free. They get to walk around, drink, fuck, and get away with all their bullshit while my brother's ashes get dusty on a mantle. I would have to make them pay for what they did. I went to the police, and they did nothing. As usual, I tried to rally the town, but nobody cared. I even wrote to some politicians, but they didn't respond. I prayed, but not even God would see that justice was carried out. Liquor helped. I had to use all my senses to stay on my feet as I staggered down the path. Thinking about where I stepped kept my mind off of other things. Here we go. Sorry about that. I muted it to clear my throat there. It was a small hiking trail I had taken hundreds of times. I could easily get from the bar to my apartment complex without walking the noisy, bright streets. So here's the apartments. Here's the noisy, bright streets, even though they're dirt paths. And a blue tree that's made out of, adamantium steel. All right, so it was a short walk to the crossroads marked by a small old sign. Left towards my apartment complex, and right to go deeper into the woods. I stopped and stared down at it. Okay. So, deep at the woods? The wood looked like it was starting to rot. It stood alone and unattended in the darkness. I stepped towards the path that led home, but something caught my foot, and the ground suddenly rushed to meet my face. Oh, you fell. Fuck. Eladoria? Is that her name? I had reached out to stop my fall and cut my palm on something. I hissed and sat up, looking it over. A shattered bottle had been left near the path. Now I was sitting in the dirt, bleeding, and it hurt. It hurt! I chewed on my lip and tried not to think about anything. But the alcohol was wearing off, and the cold was seeping through my jacket to my skin, and now my hand hurt. This was all their fault. It was Eliodora, so I read it wrong. I wish I could make those fuckers pay. My voice sounded so weak, and my throat felt raw. I breathed in and out. I crushed my heart. I crushed my hurt hand against my chest and considered getting back up on my feet. What is it doing? Look at that. I'm not doing that. The screen is shaking. Things around me fell quiet, and I felt a weird energy building below me in the earth. I glanced down, still slow from the alcohol, and then froze in terror. What was that all about? Why is it doing that? The ground was starting to pulse, as if something or somethings were moving just under the surface. I thought, snake, and tried to jump up on my feet. There it goes. Okay, it's back to full screen. That was weird. Was it supposed to do that? But then a voice whispered directly in my ear, a voice unlike any voice I've ever heard before.
The man who killed your brother.
Okay. There's someone else here. I jerked away before I could comprehend the words. I looked around, but no one. Nothing. What the fuck? Had I imagined it?
You want the man who killed your brother to pay.
Okay, there's somebody else here. I shuddered and continued to search around me. I saw no one. The ground continued to writhe. I don't know what that means. Shake, probably. I tried to stand up, but my legs wouldn't move. Eleodora? How do you even say that? Is this some kind of sick joke? Speaking seemed to fix the paralysis. I managed to stumble forward and get on my feet. I was about to run, but the voice spoke again. Here we go. Let's hear.
How?
That's it? You said how? How what? Perhaps I had drank too much, or maybe I was losing my mind. The trees were too thin to hide someone, and it wasn't dark enough to fully obscure a body. They spoke so softly and so close. If it weren't for the pain in my hand, might have convinced myself I was dreaming. The voice spoke again. It was close to my ear and sounded like a hissed whisper. I squeezed my eyes closed and tried to will the creature away. Here we go. Let's listen.
How do you want them to pay?
I know you heard that. I gritted my teeth, my heart hurting worse than my hand. The strange entity offered revenge. I bit down hard on my lip and felt a coldness cascade down my spine as the world seemed to fall silent around me. The woods felt so empty, and despite knowing that I should run, go home, sober up, I didn't. And now we are met with our first choice. I want them to die. I want them to suffer. I want them to go to jail. I want everyone to know what they did. Who? Who is them? That's what I want to know. I want them to suffer. I want them to know my pain.
And for this favor, will you give your blood?
No. As it spoke, the world around me evaporated. I could still feel the wind. Can you hear that? Wow. There's a heartbeat. And hear the leaves rustle, but there was nothing but a bleak void before me. My breath and heartbeat stared to grow louder and echo. I thought that wasn't me. You can hear it. It wanted my blood. Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Yes.
Deal.
Okay, Nyarbalte. Okay, did you hear that? That's Nyarbalte. Suddenly the ground exploded and the earth was ripped open. Vines shot from the depths and wrapped around my legs and arms and then pulled. Okay. All right, there's the first art of the game. I like that. That's nice. Let's just see that on the screen. That's nice. I got the music set perfectly. I gasped, too panicked to scream and too focused on trying to free myself to consider what was happening. An invisible weight settled on top of me, pushing me down even as I clawed at the ground. I couldn't think straight. Was I being buried alive? What was happening? My futile attempts to fight the vines failed, and the ground swallowed me, plunging me into the darkness. I wasn't falling. There was no breeze, no noise. I couldn't even hear my own voice. I couldn't tell if my eyes were open or closed. Was I screaming? I could feel myself slipping out of consciousness. What had I done? All right. Pure blackness. Should I click? Let's click. There we go. I was somewhere different now. Somewhere soft but cold. I pulled the thin blanket up to my chin, but I couldn't get warm. Wait. What is that noise? Sounds like a fire. I opened my eyes and sat up in a bed that was not mine. I knew it was a fire. What the fuck? Where am I? I pushed the blankets away and jumped out of bed. I searched the room, but I was alone. It smelled like mildew and felt damp and chilly. It had been colder when I had left the bar, though. There was a fireplace, but it didn't provide any warmth, just the sounds of popping and burning with a heavy smell of smoke. There were windows, but they had been carefully boarded up. Okay, I am very much enjoying and engaged with this game, so I will hit this button here and see what happens. Can I save? I don't know how to save. I think I can get back here and not worry about it. So I'm going to hit that and hit yes. because I want to leave you wanting more of this demo. It's as simple as that. I will throw up that beneficial information, vomit it back up onto the screen right there, and puke it up. There it is, all for your benefit. And yeah, I definitely recommend this game, as I do most games that I play on the channel. This one just keeps getting better as I kept playing it. It's a very slow game, but I like that. If you know what I mean. And if you like what you see, consider liking and subscribing for more content just like this. We play both new and old games you may not know about, as well as deals you may not know about, and genres that you might just not know about. Or you know about them and you just don't ever play them. This was In Blood, the demo.